Hi, it is Annie Meehan back with H3 TV. We hope you liked the trailer where we started talking and then technology won and we lost you and you lost us. And sometimes laughter truly is the best medicine and you just got to laugh. What are you going to do? The sound goes out, the sound comes back, and we hope you'll come back too. Just a reminder that if you have a question or comment at any time, feel free to put it in the chat and we will address it. So Shaquan, you were just going to share with us, what are 3 to 5 tips on how you stay hopeful, healthy, and happy?
Oh, thank you very much. First of all, I just really apologize for the technical difficulties. I have no idea what happened to the sound. So one tip is to stay patient amongst any of the struggles that you may come that might blindside you in life, just to be patient. And I still was hopeful. So yes, just want to address that. H3, thank you.
Yeah.
So first thing I do in the morning is I'm a spiritual person. I pray. That is how I get centered. That's how I get focused. That's how when I'm processing anything that I have to do for that day, whether it be for myself, my husband, my children, my family, anyone at work, my partners, whoever it is, that my time that I spend, centering myself and getting focused for that period of time. The other thing I do, Annie, that's really important, and it's a running joke here in the household, whether it's here or in the office, I walk. I walk around. I'm a pacer. I'm very energetic. I have a lot of that energy to spend. So, to spread around. And it really keeps me focused, engaged, and centered. You would think, hey, okay, walking is a bit of a distraction. No, I actually prefer it. So I'm usually one that is on my feet. And that is how I try to get in some exercise as well. The other thing I do is at the end of the week, sometimes my week might go into a Saturday, maybe sometimes even a Sunday. But I usually try to get, if nothing else, one day where I'm giving myself some rest. This is where I'm asking for support from my husband, the kids, to really just allow myself to sleep in a bit. Sometimes it doesn't go too much longer. But that is how I make sure there's a day for me without distractions and interruptions for me to just rest my mind and take in the week and prepare myself for the week ahead of me.
Excellent tips. Excellent. I also am a woman of faith and that grounding. I love that you said that centering and grounding, starting your day in quiet and in prayer is such a gift because when we do that for ourselves, we're better for everyone around us, in our homes, outside of our homes. And I always think when we take care of ourselves, yes, better in our homes, but better for our team and then better for our clients. And then ultimately, that little bit of time in the beginning can be win, win, win. And I love that walking is one of your rituals because for me, walking, I always think movement's medicine. But beyond that, I took an improv class once and they said, actually, so maybe you're doing this without even knowing it. When they're creating, you always want to be in movement. You want to be walking as you're thinking and processing and creating because your brain is more expanded to creativity in movement and a day of rest. What a gift. And what a beautiful thing that you have a family that surrounds you and supports you in saying, listen, I need this one day to just be calm my body, calm my mind. I think we joke about people that are not entrepreneurs and they're complaining about working 40, 45 hours a week. And you're like, oh my gosh, when you're the owner, you might work 60, 80, 100 hours a week. And yes, it is a choice, but you wear so many hats and you never know what's going to come. And when you want to be successful, whatever that means, you have to do all those things. So those are great tips. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. When you think of hope and happiness, do you think that hope and happiness happen by chance or by choice or based on circumstances?
No, I think hope is connected to faith. So this is not something that is by chance. This is extremely intentional. As a matter of fact, I'm one that believes to be protective over what I'm hopeful for, because I intentionally expect it to come to pass. So no, it is certainly something that I am very careful with, right? What I'm focused on or having faith to come true, I associate hope with faith.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that I'm, centered in and hopeful for the outcome to come out, I'm intentional in my thoughts when it comes to whatever that situation is. And then I just have faith that it will come to pass.
I love that. I think hope is believing in what you haven't seen yet, but you know to be true and possible. And I like Garth Brooks' song Unanswered Prayers, because sometimes we think we're going on this path, but I love that you're like, I'm intentional. I know what I'm hoping for. I know my vision. And also a piece of that might be, Shaquan, patience, right? Because sometimes we're so driven and excited about how great it's going to turn out, and other people can't see that vision. So we're like, come on, let's get on board. But it's like slowing down to speed up, right? So very important. How about happiness? How do you create happiness in your life? I know you have a ritual and routine with your kids that you sometimes do, but what are some of the ways you create happiness and find happiness?
It's a decision. It's a choice that I make. It's another one of those intentional things. There's so many things that can set us off and disappoint us and discourage us. And we can dwell on that. And that is something that I've had to make sure that I practice not doing. So happiness to me is a decision. And if I'm not feeling the emotional happiness where that joy is coming through, I create it. I do have some help, right? I have an amazing family, I have children that make me smile. They do some of the silliest things and lets me know just what we're doing, the work that we do for, what it really means. So that has a lot to do with my happiness. And if I'm in a position where, I'm in a funk or whatever the case may be, I'll say, okay, I must have been in a funk too long. And so now it's time for me to be happy, because just like there's a lot of things to bring us down, there's so many things that life gives as precious that also can lift us up. So just really choosing to see the glass, half full instead of empty. And I know sometimes that's a little bit corny of a slogan to use, but it's really true. And it's something that we can really take and control what our outcomes and what our emotions and feelings are.
Yeah. So you live in California. So where do you guys go on the weekends sometimes? You were telling me something you did with your girls.
Yeah. So what I've learned being from SoCal is we have a lot of amazing amusement parks and beaches and things of that nature. And my kids, they're at the age to where they enjoy those amusement parks. So we definitely invest in those, those passes, those seasonal passes that takes us through. So we have Universal Studios and we have Knott's Berry Farm. Those are some of the things. And we just take advantage on a really hot day when we don't want to burn all the air conditioning or we're trying to save energy. We go to the beach. Usually that'll give us some break. But being from Southern California, we got the mountains, we got the oceans, we got all this stuff that's in this area. I could say, and some of my kids say, I'm bored. There's nothing else to do. I see nothing to do at all, Mom. And sure enough, those season passes have been a lifesaver for us, because if nothing else, they have events and things that they create for the members to benefit from. So that is one thing that we definitely do. As far as my husband and I, we love concerts in the parks and really taking in the scenery. We're not a clubbing we're not in that space anymore, but we will go and see a nice game or something like that and hang out and take it easy. And being that we got some pretty cool sunshine, although I don't know, the weather out here has been so finicky, but usually it's a pretty cool place wherever you land, because most of the time you have sunshine, even though we need water sometimes.
That's right. Water is good in California or Florida. Thanks for watching, those that are watching us right now, and feel free to ask any questions or comments throughout our little talk show here. So what do you think the difference is between being hopeful and optimistic? You shared a bit about hopeful, but what's the difference between being a hopeful person and an optimistic person? And is there a difference?
I take optimism as something that I'm created that's a larger vision, a high level overview of what I'm hoping to come to pass. So another intentional purpose, right, for you to get going. So optimism, whether it's something that I'm creating or imagine hoping for myself, for my children, or something that I choose to be optimistic about that may have no relation or connection to us at all. But I may see a story or hear some news that may seem like it's not the best news. I'll look for something to be optimistic about that. And I know that's difficult to do all the time, but it is something to put in practice. And I think it's a healthy mindset overall to be an optimist. Sometimes that contradicts with being a realist. And I get that, because there's some personalities who might disagree. And I understand both sides, but as tough as this world can be, sometimes I choose to lean in the optimistic point of view and be hopeful with those realistic goals that I may or be hoping to come to pass, or be thinking of if it was something unrelated to me.
Yeah, I think of you as being very optimistic, and I think optimism is like being a positive person, and hopes is about a vision, right? And so I think you are optimistic about your hopes and your plans for your future. You're very positive, and that doesn't mean every day is easy or that you're always in a good mood. It means that you really believe in the good of your vision. And Taquan, partially what I love about you and why I feel connected to you is when I meet a lot of people that are seeking success, building their empire as we do, but when we are building success that has significance, that we have a vision behind, I'm not just building this for me, I am taking people with me to the next level in life, financially, in freedom, in living their dreams, in family impact, in powerful marriages. When you have all of that, it's so much bigger than ourselves. It's so much bigger than success. It's about significance and all the lives you're going to impact along the way, and all the financial advisors that are going to see your vision, and they're going to be optimistic, and they're going to be hopeful about what they can do when they join your team and grow into this really powerful group of people that are helping clients have vision for their own lives. So I love what you do. I love what you're about. And I think it's really important for people to recognize there are a lot of amazing people in this world. And it's so easy to focus on the negative, or the people that are pushing people down. There are people that are just chasing money. But when I meet people that are about significance, yes, success, for sure, success, financial and otherwise, but also significance in not just impacting their lives, but many other lives. Those are the people I want to align with and partner with and help support in their growth. So I love what you're doing. How about happiness and joy? Is there a difference there? And what is it?
Yeah, I think joy is more of a lifestyle, right? That it's more of, am I a joyful person overall? And happiness is that temporary emotion that comes in and out depending on what the circumstances are aligning or showing itself to be. So yeah, I do see overall joyful being something that is, whatever it is that a part of the personality you can take joy, right? Because that's not going to disturb you no matter what's going on. Ultimately, they can't take your joy, or things can't take your joy if you don't allow it. You may be disappointed, but you still have joy. So at the center of yourself, you still are full of that joy versus a temporary emotion of happiness.
Exactly. Very good. I like that. I always think there's joyful people, and happiness comes and goes based on circumstance, but joy is within. You are a joyful person to me. I feel that joy and generous spirit. Because things always do slip in, what does slip into your life and steal your happiness, hope, and health? What are some of the things that seep in and that make you feel not as great as you want to feel, and you are most of the time?
So there's a long list of those. So it depends on the day. Being an entrepreneur, run the business that we're getting off the ground, having a family that has so many different personalities going on and different commitments that they're attached to, is something that could be frustrating. It could be a bit of a struggle. And sometimes I'm thinking my time is not enough minutes or hours in a day for me to get what I need to get done. So lots of things like that, things that we can't control and things we can control sometimes, right? Both, I could say I'm guilty of that may come and try to steal my joy. So technology failures like earlier, right? Just being able to connect and make everything work for you at the time that you're trying to utilize it. So all of these things certainly can, have you skid into a frustrated state and stay there And then that's where we have to say, how long do I want to stay here and pout that something may not be going the right way? And, how productive is that? And to be frank with you, Annie, sometimes that space hits me. And my partner, who I hope is chiming in, listening to me, she's an amazing, amazing person that I work with that helps me on the operation and compliance side. She'll say, hey, we have a certain amount of minutes that we have to suck in this disappointment. And then after that, you got a meeting here, here, and here. And then the kids, you got to leave and make it there before they get there. And at that point, I realized I don't have a lot of time to really be complaining and stuck into this space that I want to pout and kick a few rocks around. I have to choose to think differently about it and move out of that space. But lots of things. That's a loaded question, but.
Yeah, it is. And lots of things can, but I love what I wanted to hear was what's your strategy for getting out? And it sounds like you have a great partner as part of your strategy. I thought of two things because you and I are both driven and we're both starting new businesses. I'm starting my Vistage share in Minnesota. You're launching a really nice, you're going to have 2 branches. I see that happening for you in LA and in Beverly Hills, right? Where you're going to be a managing director and leading some amazing financial advisors. But 2 things came to mind as you were saying that. One, and I love the serenity prayer because it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Whoo, that's hard. Sometimes that is so hard because I want to change things that I can't, that aren't going my way. To the wisdom to know and the courage to change the things I can, right? And so I think when we get no's, when we have such a great vision about our business and about what we're creating and other people can't see it or feel it or experience, and we get a no, it can shut us down. When our kids are struggling, it can shut us down. And the other thing I thought of is the SW. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but I love SW.
I just know strategic wealth, so I don't know the SW.
Okay, so this could be another SW for your strategic wealth. So it's especially when you're starting a business and not everybody says yes, right? More people say no or not now than yes. So it's SW. Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting, right? Some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And I think when we meet that appointment that doesn't work out, we got to remember we only have so much time because someone's waiting for our strategic wealth, for our success, wisdom planning, right? So very good. I love that. So what are you hopeful about right now? What are you hopeful about personally, looking forward to? And what are you hopeful about professionally? What are you looking forward to right now?
Personally, I'm so grateful to be closer to my family so that I can be more present. There was a period of time in my career where I was commuting and all that good stuff, getting where I need to get to. And now I'm in a stage where we're creating where we are, where I'm from. So that's exciting to me. It's exciting to know what's happening already. Being a part of the things that I had to have the autonomy to take over, and make some decisions that aligns more with the business model and what I'm trying to do, and from a career standpoint and in the community, right? So very excited about that. From the family perspective, love the development of the kids. They're back to school. But in addition to that, seeing them thrive, right? Not just survive, seeing them thrive and develop is another part that's exciting to see. Seeing them, whether it be from the academic perspective, socially, what they're doing sports-wise, all of those things bring me excitement and keeps me centered and hopeful. And back from the first thing I said, the fact that I'm actually able to spend time and see this more than I was able to do is just, that's part of the dream that I'm living right now, having that. So very grateful for that.
I love that. I think after owning gyms for 12 years, I recognize there's at least 7 areas of health, but I think a lot of people just think of physical health. But when I think of you and the work you do and the work that you work with your team does, and I think of financial health, what do you think that means? What does that look like for people? And why does it matter? What if my finances are out of order and I overspend and I don't save for my future? How does that affect my life and my health overall?
This is a hot trending topic. And it is timely. And it is something that I think we really underestimated, didn't really match up or consider before. But now I think companies are waking up because they're in direct correlation with one another. your health, whether your actual health and your financial health are truly correlated and aligned with one another. So if you're living a life to where you are financially struggling, more than likely your health is going to be struggling also. So very important to get your affairs in order. It's very important to, like you would have a checkup to go to the doctor to make sure your blood pressure is good, everything, your blood work is good, all the things that are supposed to be aligned to create healthy. I recommend people to also spend the time to meet with someone like me or my team that would also check your financial health and really align you to be healthy. And starting where you are, like you would, some people don't like to go to the doctor. They don't want to know the bad news until it unfortunately forces them to go there. And it kind of works out the same way financially as well. So if we can get a good plan going for you that you can sleep well at night, even if it's haywire and mayhem right now, we can certainly get you started. And I think it really would make a difference, right? Just having that peace of mind that all is well for you financially, then personally, and your physical health will also, benefit from that as well.
100%. And I think there was a time where we thought, I'll just let the guys deal with the money. I don't want to pay the bills. I don't want to know the numbers. And today we know that more wealth in America is owned by women, that women have more wealth than men in America. And no offense, guys, but there's a lot of women business owners. There's a lot of women inheriting money. There's a lot of women making equal or more than their partner or spouse. And I think it's so important to know your numbers. And just like you said, it's a checkup. I was going to say it's a checkup from the neck up, but that's not right. But it is it's a checkup in your wallet. It's a checkup in your, and I meet people all the time that say, oh, I'm pretty good. I've been working out. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Tell me about your finances. Oh, I'm overspending. I'm not giving anymore because I don't make enough. I'm not saving because that is not a way to live. It will make you physically sick. And we saw it in our gyms and we know it. And so I feel like I am a coach, but I still need a coach to write a book. I need a coach for my finances. I need a coach for a variety of things in my life. And I think it's so important that you have support. We have different gifts and you need to get the support you need. And so I love what you and your team do, Shaquan, is that, we need someone to give us clear advice about our finances. And it's scary because what if you judge me and what if I'm out of balance? But I tell my young people in my life, when you're in your 20s, start making a financial plan because you won't always have, but if you have a plan, you can build great wealth. You can not only be able to have wealth for yourself, but give generously, save, and control your spending and not overspend. There was a show on called Marriage or Mortgage, and it would always break my heart when they would pick the expensive marriage over the mortgage. I'm like, buy a house. Come on. Like, have a nice wedding. Don't spend $200,000 on it. So anyway,
hey, Annie, that we just launched. I know, you sound like you're doing a great commercial for us. I'm absolutely loving it. You're hitting it right on, point on.
I love what you guys do. It's important. So when you're coaching a client, how do you help them deal with that? Because it can be scary. I think it's scarier sometimes opening my checkbook and talking about money than getting on a scale. Not that anyone uses a checkbook anymore, but like it is scary. So how do you help people feel comfortable where you're not going to judge them, and how do you help them feel safe, or your team help them feel safe to share their financial, where they are right now?
It's the approach. It's really building a relationship and allowing them to realize that we're people too. We have a history too. Depending on where everyone's come from a different place and have different experiences, but just being real, being open, honest, and direct, right? I think that helps people relax and understand that they're not being judged. As a matter of fact, they're getting advice and no pressure for where they are. They don't have any expectation to have $250,000 to say, I'm investing. That I've had that experience to where that was the type of clients we're going after. And that's part of the reason why I'm excited about being a managing partner here with Strategic Fortune Wealth Management, because there's no limits. So really, truly being able to say, hey, whatever it is, whatever your budget is, how far back you might be in the red, we're here to help and support you. You don't have to make yourself, healthy enough to consider yourself to have a financial advisor. A lot of times people think, man, I want to talk to you, but I feel like I need to get some things together because you're not going to be interested in talking to me. And that's when I say, stop right there. We're here to, meet you where you are. We want to know what's keeping you up at night now. Let us address some of the things that might be an immediate need for you. And then, over a period of time, we'll keep you healthy. So we'll stay connected with you. We'll still be here serving as an advisor, but really being that support. And, I think really makes a big difference in making people comfortable and opening up and really committing to getting themselves together financially, or, doing even better financially, if that's the case.
And I think there's a lot of correlation between a gym and financial health, because people would say to me, well, I'm going to get fit and then join the gym. And I was like, what? And people would say to me, I'm going to meet with a financial advisor, but I got to make some money first. I'm like, no, make a plan first. So when you make that money, you know what to do with it and how to do it. And so we're really lucky that 2 of our 3 kids are very clear on their retirement plan. And I'm actually in Minneapolis right now speaking at a conference tomorrow with 3 different financial companies. And then I'm closing out the conference, but it's really for retirement planning for many different agencies. And then I fly to Tampa and I speak at another financial conference. And I just think it is so important. I would watch people get physically sick or live in big houses and have lots of cars and be penniless. And I'm like, you don't have to live like that. You do not have to live like that. And I love that you're not only supportive, but you're caring about those individuals succeeding, and that you're vulnerable, but direct. I like that you use that, because I think we can't candy coat it, but we can make a plan. Wherever you are, you can start today to move forward in a way you don't have to live sick to your stomach about your finances and pretending, right? Pretending. So Shaquan, kind of the last question I have for you is, health can be confusing, right? Whatever area I talk about, physical, emotional, mental, financial, spiritual, relational, career health. But what do you think is a myth about health? What is confusing about health? Like, there's so many, like, you have to do this or don't do this. So maybe you have a myth or a story about financial or any area of health that you want to share with us and kind of help us get a little clarity on that.
Man. Well, okay. Health to me is being healthy in your sound mind, body, spiritually, etc. So it's not just, health. We usually associate that with going to the doctors. Anyone that says that, but really, truly, it starts in the mind and so on and so forth, and all of that inclusive is health. So I think the myth is, hey, I'm taking my vitamins and I'm going to the gym. That's a great plan and that's awesome, but that doesn't mean that you're healthy. It could be, hey, I'm sitting here and I'm going to buy a house and I'm saving to buy a house, and that's great and that's wonderful and I encourage it. But what's the plan to do that? What's the strategy to do that? What's your goal to do that? What are the goals? Can we help you be more healthier? So just depending on whatever the circumstances are, really, truly just being able to bring it all together is to me the ultimate health. Is, being healthy in every area of mental, physical, spiritual, all the above. Financial. Whatever it is that you believe.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have a success story with one of your clients you've worked with, or one of your teammates, one of the people that you've worked with or brought on and you've seen them have success, or an impact story on somebody's life?
The last part of what you said, I missed you.
Oh, I just said a success story that you either personally have with one of your clients, or that one of your team have with their clients, or just somebody that you saw kind of move away from the fear about talking about money and was like confident and clear on where they were going and what they wanted.
Tons of stories like that. One that drops right into my mind right now to think about is someone who spent many, many, many years working in a human resources area at a very prominent college, done very well for herself, and built a nice nest egg, and really did not want to stop working, because the fear is, when I stop working, yes, that means that the income that you're earning goes away. So really just a fear of retiring, to say the least. And part of the planning for her retirement included interviewing different carriers and things to kind of help carry her on to create a pension for her. And they are offering all these different things. And she would get cold feet and decide, I'm just going to work a little longer. I don't really want to move forward. But in the end, when she truly decided to retire, and we selected some solutions that were going to help carry her through this retirement, I could say from today, that decision that she and I made, I helped her make for her own retirement, is still paying significant dividends. As a matter of fact, it's not even, that particular one is not even available because she got it at the time she needed to get it, and it's still paying off for her. So I think for her, just being able to relax and trust and know that even still that we've made this some time ago, she's still healthy financially. She's healthy in every area of her life, and she's actually able to enjoy her life instead of worrying about having to work to not run out of money, because the money that she has that we've structured for her is still paying for her to have it. The money is paying for itself. So it's all good.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that so much. Well, thank you so much, Shaquan, for being with us this evening, this afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from. So what is the best way people can get a hold of you? I know people are going to want to hear more about you and work with you and send people your way. What is the best way to connect with you? Where do you like to connect with people?
When I think connection, I think LinkedIn. That's probably my go-to spot. We definitely have a webpage, office line, all of that good stuff. But the best way is probably using my name through LinkedIn.
Perfect. Well, you can add your website or whatever other information in the comments on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. But for now, just look for Shaquan on LinkedIn. I thank you all for listening today, and remind you that if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we will respond to them once we see them. So thank you again for joining us for H3 TV, where we love to spread hope, health, and happiness to you, your workplace, and to the world. Thanks again. Take care. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, Annie. It was very fun. Thank you.